if you want to know how to compress that ball and get speed with your driver, then this could be the perfect exercise. It had amazing effects this week with 3 of our pupils who were struggling. In fact, one of the guys, Ernie, he managed to increase his drive by 40 to 50 yards. He was struggling with club head speed, struggling with the release, but more importantly, he was struggling with using the ground. So I want to show you this exercise because I think it could be a big game changer. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to strike the ball on the up whilst the club, it's still lagging. It's been released, but it's still lagging behind the hands, but on an upward trajectory, an upward arc. And therefore, you're going to be de-lofting the driver, but increasing the angle of attack. And that's going to give you the ball speed. And that's going to take the spin off it. And that is going to jump the distance. So how are we going to do it? Well, we're going to use a slope. I'm sure you've seen me back at home on the Zen Green stage, using the slopes. Out here in the natural environment, the perfect opportunity to use these slopes. And it's something you probably never even think about doing with your driver. But we're going to use the same intent with an iron. Literally moving as if we were going to play a punch shot. But then we're going to push off the ground. That is going to create the tilts, the side bend, the extension of the torso naturally to release this golf club later. The levers are going to get released later because you're creating the body movement to do it. It's going to happen automatically. All you've got to do is let go. But first, we've got to create the conditions for that to happen. So we're going to move onto a downslope. So if you can find a downslope on your practice ground, this could be the best area for you to practice your driver. So we've moved over to the downslope, and it's quite a severe downslope. This would be tricky just playing a normal golf shot from. But this is not the intended golf swing. This is an exaggerated environment to train the movements. Because as we amplify the challenge, you will start to explore these bigger ranges and they will become much more noticeable in terms of your awareness. So you're recognising the movement you're making because it's at such a great range. You're going to feel these forces. You're going to feel what this slope is doing to your body. What is at the heart of this exercise is gravity, and it's pulling us down the slope. And we've got to allow gravity to pull your body weight. And then we've got to push off the ground against that force. And this is the key. So making some swings on a severe downslope, just feeling the wrecking ball action first. Just starting to get comfortable with sway. Now don't worry, that doesn't mean you're going to be swaying like mad in your golf swing, all over the place, struggling to strike the golf ball, because as soon as you go back to a level lie, or a fairly level lie, you're going to be using these forces for braking. At the moment, we're really challenging the boundaries. Where are our limitations? Often, we're too scared to move. We're too focused on trying to stay centred. And the problem is, the body becomes too static and we end up with just an arm swing, early release, no power, and it's just exacerbating the errors. So allowing our body mass to counteract the movement of the golf club. The last thing we want is the body mass moving with the golf club, because then it's so unstable, we have to put the brakes on, stabilise the body, and now all we've got are the arms swinging, releasing the club early, and we're back to square one. So we've got to allow ourselves to embrace the sway. Don't worry, because the forces are going to stabilise us when we go back to normal level ground. But we've got to challenge the boundaries. We've got to challenge where the limitations are. Allow ourselves to use this load into the slope here and push off to throw the club back, to release it back. And the moment you release the club back, allow your body weight to fall down the slope. Don't worry, your body's going to start to catch itself. It's going to start to use the ground as it does in every other form of your life, day to day, moving around. It's going to try and prevent you from falling over. We've got to push it to the limits. So as soon as we release the club back, we let the arms run off. Let your body rotate to throw the club back. In response to that push off the slope, just allow gravity to pull you down the slope. And you're going to feel now the pressure build up in the lead foot, in particular the forefoot, in the big toe and the ball of the foot. You're going to feel it load the medial aspect of the forefoot because that's where you jump from. If you were to jump up, you're going to use your toes. You're probably not going to jump off the heels. You're probably not going to jump using the outsides of your feet. You're going to load, particularly in terms of throwing and hitting, into the lead toe. And that's going to give us the opportunity to push off. That push off is going to give us the power, but it's also going to give us the brakes to let this club go. So allow yourself to fall. So feel the build-up of pressure in that lead toe. Feel how your body weight is moving down the slope and then push off. But we're not just pushing off vertically, we're pushing off back up the slope. And it's this direction of push off against the downslope that is the magic move for this exercise. Because what it's going to do is not only provide the energy for us to sequence and transfer through to the club, resulting in more speed, but it's also going to create all those tilts, side bends, extension, which result in the levers loading for longer. The lag is maintained for longer and longer and longer. Otherwise, you're going to hit the slope. So the downhill slope is encouraging the body, in particular the torso, to side bend, resulting in a later release point, catching the ball on the up whilst the club head is lagging behind, giving us that compressed strike, giving us that speed. And this happens naturally. You don't have to worry about it with this exercise. That's the beauty of it, providing you allow yourself to push off and freewheel it to a finish. Just like this, just feeling the wrecking ball action, throw the club back, fall down the slope, and then push off back. And we are moving now in the opposite direction to the slope. Notice we didn't hit the slope. This is going to release the golf club later. It's the perfect learning environment for you to experience the push off, the sequencing, and the release in that order. All the while sensing the timing, because you've got momentum at the heart of it. Using the ground, keeping the movement dynamic, releasing the club back, falling, pushing off, and releasing the club through. Now be careful at first. If you've been one of these swingers who's using their body weight excessively, you might find as you start to expand the move, you might find you start losing your balance. We don't want you rolling off down the slope, tumbling down the slope. Be careful. Make a few easy swings first. Commit to a freewheeling finish. The follow through is key. Now, if you've been watching the channel over a period of time, you'll be very familiar with the 1, 2, 3, 4 phases of the swing. And you're going to see these patterns immediately in this exercise. We've got the 1 and the 2. Into the 3, naturally by falling down the slope, whilst the club is still swinging back. The body's still rotating back as we're falling. Look at the form of the lead side. It's a loaded spring with the lead ankle, knee, hip. Look at the torso. It's wound up, ready to react to the push-off. Up the slope. The side bend kicks in naturally, that trail side bend as you rotate. And now you've got that late release and a full extended finish because you're opposing pulling force of the golf club. And that's what's letting you go with speed. You just got to commit to the finish. Recognising where that follow through is. And if you can do it on this slope, when we go back to the level slope, it's going to feel so easy. So we've come over to the flat lie. Now it's going to feel very different making this exercise. Now we're going to really feel the push off, accelerate the club back and allow the club's momentum to take you back. And as soon as you feel that increase in momentum, we're falling down the slope. And we're into that loaded form, ready to push off. And you're going to feel that load, ready to spring. You're going to feel that power. And you're going to feel how the body just wants to recoil. You're going to swing the club back, using that momentum. And as soon as you feel that momentum, you're going to fall down the slope. Notice how we're falling down the slope, loading that lead side, feeling the low point, very forward and low, almost like we're playing a punch shot under a tree. But that's very quickly going to change because you're going to push off. And now it's the opposite. Now you've got the upward angle of attack, late release. Let's just allow that to take us to a natural finish. And we can just spring and just let the club fly. When you first start doing this, don't worry about the direction. We're going for speed. We can start to recognise face and path and work on the release in the next step. But this is all about developing club head speed, falling into that lead side by using the trail, by using the wrecking ball, and imagining the downslope, and most importantly, pushing off up against that downslope into that finish, and really letting yourself go with it, allowing yourself to just launch that club, not just the ball, we're launching the club. And you'll notice the actual golf swing doesn't look as severe. There'll be trace elements of it. Use your coach's eye to recognise these movements in swings, because the big hitters are doing it far better than me, and they're doing it far more efficiently, but you're going to recognise these trace elements, these characteristics of their golf swing. They exist in all these swings. They're present in their swings in different forms, slightly different adaptations of these, but they're using the ground for a late release, and that's what we want. So find a downslope, guys. Get exploring, falling, pushing off, generating speed for that compressed strike, that ball speed and that distance. Drop your comments below, guys. Let me know how you get on. I'm looking forward to hearing about all the results. And finally, a goodbye from sunny Utah. Enjoy the practice, guys. See you soon.